Thai tax system. Many people have asked me over certainly the past year since all of this tax malarkey started coming in, what have I done about my tax? What am I going to do about my tax? And my answer to everybody, I'm doing nothing. And up until March the 31st, I didn't do anything. And March the 31st, because I'm still getting emails almost on a daily basis now, like, Les, what have you done with your tax? What have you done with your tax? What are you going to do with your tax? And now I'm in a position to say what I've done about my tax. And it's interesting. It's an interesting story. And those people that will go on to listen to this, I've got a couple of references that I can give out, and also a YouTube video in which to watch. And that will certainly make you a little bit more confused. And still, there is no magical answer to it. There isn't a magic wand, although the tax experts who want you to part with your money will tell you different. And again, we'll come on to that with regard to costs and things like that. I'll give you two financial examples. Well, I've got two friends who've had to pay tax because they don't pay tax in their home countries. So they are liable to pay tax here in Thailand. And I'll give you them examples a little later on in the vlog. And I'll give you how much they're bringing into the Thailand and how much tax they have to pay. And this is from the horse's mouth. This is from the tax revenue department in Thailand. So all the figures I'm going to give you are the correct figures that they have to pay by the 8th of April. So again, a lot of work has gone into this sort of thing, and a lot of scratching heads and things like that. Oh, morning, Gordon. Sun is shining, but only 7 degrees. And my friend Gordon is just flown back to the UK after spending 5 weeks here in lovely Thailand. So the view from the window will change a little bit, Gordon, I take it. And are you still suffering from jet lag? I would imagine you would do. John Adrian, good afternoon from Bangkok. Hello. I hope you're okay in Bangkok. I hope you weren't too shook up with regard to Bangkok. But again, there's lots of news on in Bangkok, and I've got a couple of things that I'm going to mention about why we're not going to Bangkok to celebrate the Songkran Festival, which we were going to do. Well, I've been bitten by some mosquitoes now. You know, when you got an itch in it and it just carries on. So anyway, getting back to the Thai tax. If I can explain my situation, because everybody was asking about me and my tax situation. So I'll go through mine first, and then I've got a guy from Australia, then I've got another guy from Europe. So I'll start off with mine first. And like I said, up until the 31st of March, I've done nothing whatsoever. So I decided I'm going to go to see the tax people in Rayong, because I live in the Rayong province. But before that, I contacted 2 tax experts, the online so-called tax experts. And this was a number of months ago, maybe it's 4 or 5 months ago. And one tax expert said, I'll have to pay tax. And the other tax expert said, I won't have to pay tax. So a day or two before visiting the tax office, I rang one of the companies, Expat Tax, I think it's called. And I got a free 15-minute conversation with him, Carl, from Expat Tax. And I've got to say, he reassured me, and he said he was 90% sure that I didn't have to pay tax because of my circumstances. And as he explained, every single person that goes to fill the tax in or wherever, tax office, it's an individual circumstances. So therefore, everybody is totally different. Like, I'm going to be totally different to the next guy because he might be worked in a different scenario. I receive a government pension. Because I receive a government pension, that puts me in a different category. So going back to just my case, this is what my case is. So when I said to him, I 90% isn't good enough for me. I need to know 100% of what I'm, whether I'm going to pay tax or not. And he said, find out whether you've got a government pension. And he said, if it comes back that you've got a government pension because I was in the fire service, he said, I'm still 90% sure that you won't have to pay tax. So anyway, I rang up the fire brigade, who pay my pension, asking the guy on the phone there, what type of pension do I get? Is it a government pension, local authority pension, or a private pension? And the guy said, well, private pension. And I said, well, why is it private pension? Because I work for the local authority, which is a part of the government. Oh, he said, okay, you get a local authority pension. I said, and it's not government pension, because every time I look on the website for fire brigade pensions, it comes under gov.uk. Oh, he said, yes, it's a government pension then. So now he told me it's 3 different pensions. And I said to him, please find out for 100% sure and inform me by email or a letter to say it is one of them 3 things. Now, again, looking further into it, and I've got it in writing off other websites to say it is definitely 100% a government pension. So my circumstances with being English is that the tax authorities say I do not have to pay tax on a government pension because of the double tax agreement. I am covered by that. If it was a local authority pension or a government-based pension, I am free, not having to pay tax, which I was over the moon at. That's what I read. That's what I understood. So then, armed with these bits of paper, how much I earned, how much I brought into the country, my passport details, we went down to the tax office in Rayong. Now, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. So, armed with these pieces of paper, went into the tax office, sat in the queue. I was the only foreigner, and there was about maybe 30 or 40 Thai people in there, because it was the end of the financial tax year, so everybody was paying the tax type of thing. So I was with my wife, because no way could they speak English. And we got called, and we went to the desk, and we went to see this number, and she said, yeah, okay, come and sit down. So me and my wife had already had a discussion what she was going to ask the lady behind the counter with regard to my tax. And the lady at the tax just looked at me and brought a glass down like that, which I thought, that's not a good sign. And she said, how much does your husband bring into the country? And I said, roughly 800,000 baht a year. So she gets the calculator out, and she said, there you go, that's how much tax you have to pay, 39,500. So again, with my bit of paper, I said to my wife, listen, show that, although it's all in English, it says the word pension. And she says, and I don't understand Thai, but I understand the tone. And then the tone had gone up a level to like, I'm annoyed now. And she says, your husband has to pay tax. Employee said, but he pays tax already in the UK. And then the tone went up a level, and she said, I don't care if he pays tax. And this is all the translation, by the way. It wasn't in English. What she said to my wife and what my wife said to me. She said, I don't care if he pays tax in England. He pays tax on the money that he has to bring into Thailand. End of story. He has to pay tax. Job done. So I was at this level, and I was sort of angry with my wife because I couldn't get over my points. And she said to me, listen, I told her, you're paying tax, this, that, and the other. And she keeps saying, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. He has to pay tax. So then she was giving us all a form. We had to provide a year's worth of certificates from the bank to say guarantee how much I brought into the country. Good day, everybody. I'm halfway through a story. So I apologize if I haven't said hi to everybody else, but I'm halfway through my story with regard to the Thai tax system. So anyway, she gives all the paperwork, and she asked where our address was. And because we live, we live in Rayong, but our district is Klang. And she said, oh, you're in the wrong office. You need to be in the Klang office. So that was an hour away. So we drove an hour, and my temperature was high because all of the indications said that I shouldn't have to pay tax, and I was going to have to pay tax. But the silver lining on all of this lot was that possibly it was only going to be under 40,000 baht, which is still a lot of money when all said and done, when I've already paid tax. But that was the underlying silver lining for me. It's only 40,000 baht, just less than £1,000 tax. So we got to the Klang office, and we waited in the queue, and we seen this lovely lady. She was the head of department. She took us into a private office, and she says very calmly and very helpfully, and she said, I don't think you have to pay tax because you've got a government pension. Totally different attitude, absolutely 100% different in attitude. And she says, you don't have to pay tax. But she said, Waldo, I'll make your appointment to come and see the head of department, and he'll tell you 100% whether you have to pay tax or not. So she logged onto her computer, and she couldn't get us an appointment until May, halfway through May. And she says, again, this is all in Thai, translating to my wife. She said, that's no good. She said, you need to know before then because the tax is due now. So she looked on the computer, and it took her 20 minutes to find this little paragraph in amongst all the documents, which is all in Thai. And she read it out, and she said, because as long as I can show it's a government pension, and I've already paid tax in the UK, I don't have to register for tax, I don't have to pay tax, I don't have to do anything about the tax, as long as I could prove. And I asked whether she could print, so she printed it out in Thai, and then she translated it for us, so helpful, translated it to us in English. So I have now that little piece of paper that tells me that I don't have to pay tax in Thailand because mine is a government pension. What a difference. It was just like, one of them moments. Fantastic. But it just goes to show, and again, there's a video that I can direct everybody to, and I'm going to put that on the screen now. It's a very good video. It's a YouTube video, and it's just come out just lately. And the guy's is called Jet Gunther, and he's done a lot of things about the Thai tax system. And he's got an American guy from a Thai company, Thai tax company in Bangkok, and he goes through the video, and it's so frustrating that the Thai government, after all of this time, still haven't got the heads together, and they still haven't got their idea of the tax. And also, coming on to the second stories now. Now, the second stories are very interesting also. Right. No questions. Okay, I'll go on to the next story. I've got two friends. One's an Australian friend who gets his income from superannuation in Australia. Now, again, this was ambiguous as to whether he actually pays tax on this in Australia or not. And the answer to all of this lot. Questions, is the UK state pension a government pension? Yes, it is. The state pension is 100% the government pension. But I've got another talk about. Majority of this conversation today is going to be about taxes, both in Thailand and in the UK, about the freezing of the 50 watching, hit the like and thumbs up. Yeah, if you like this information, give it a thumbs up. That would be marvelous, because this needs to go out all over the place with regard to the tax system. So anyway, getting back to my Australian friend who's on superannuation. So we didn't know whether it was taxed or not. So we went to the tax office, and my Australian friend's got dementia, so totally incapable of doing all of this lot himself. So there's a bunch of us. We're all friends together, and we helped him sort his tax out. So we went to the tax office, and she said this was another tax office in Rayong, because he's in Rayong district, and she was very helpful. And she said there's an online system, how we do it online rather than coming into the office and doing it, and just fill all the online questions. And there's only 5 questions, or there's 5 pages, and we did it online for him. And when we checked it all out, the fact that he's on a superannuation from Australia, he is liable to pay tax here in Thailand on the income that he brings in. And if you want to know the address of the online tax, it's a Thai online tax e-file. And if you have a look at that, HTTPS, and you just copy that, and you'll be able to log on to the e-filing system where you can file your tax online to the Thai government, and then they'll tell you how much tax you have to pay. Now, the first page, don't be misled by the www. Thai, then English. The first page is in English. And then when you go on to the submit your e-filing, everything else in there is Thai. And it goes to all Thai, and it's not particularly complicated. Now, my friend, for simplicity, he's a single guy. He's 64. He only has the superannuation pension. He hasn't got any life insurance. He hasn't got any medical insurance. And he's not married, so he can't claim anything. The only thing he can claim for is just the basic claims that he can claim for. So the first 150,000 baht is free of tax. Anything after that, he has to pay. And then there's a sliding scale from 150,000 to 300,000, it's 5%. And then from 300,000 to 500, it's 10%. And then after that, it goes up again. So the long and the short of it all, his income was about 647,000 baht coming into Thailand. And out of that, he has to pay about 31,400 in tax. So that's what he has to pay in tax, because he can't claim for nothing else. So that's 31,400 on an income of 647,000. So as you can see, it's not a horrendous amount of money, as some people were saying, we're going to get taxed at 20 and 30 and 40%, but it's still tax that he's never paid all the time that he's living in Thailand. And now this is what they're asking, but the forms are all in Thai. And these companies that charge you, that say we'll get you a tax identification number, my wife and his girlfriend and Mick, with his passport details and everything, came out of the tax information place with his TIN number in 20 minutes, and it was free. So don't be afraid of going into the tax office. They're there to help you, but obviously you need a Thai person to help you be able to do all of this lot. So tax identification number, these companies charge at least 7,000 baht to submit the paperwork to get your Thai identification number, which is free if you go and do it yourself, and it's not complicated and it's not difficult. For them to fill the paperwork in, it's roughly 8,000 baht for them to fill the paperwork in. So my friend Mick was going to get charged 15,000 baht to get his tax identification number and to fill the paperwork in. And there was 6 of us in our little group, and we helped him to do it online. And it took maybe 30 minutes the first time, and we didn't save it properly, so we did it all again. So roughly an hour, we submitted these tax affairs, and we go down on Monday or Tuesday, because Monday is a public holiday. We're going down on Tuesday to pay his tax, 31,000. So the tax, it isn't as complicated as people make it out to be. It can be done. It's frustrating. Boy, yes, it's frustrating type of thing. Now, everybody from every country is going to be different. Like the Australians, the Americans, apparently, if they get Social Security or a government pension, they're exempt from paying tax as well. My European friend, who doesn't pay tax in his country, I won't say which country he's from, but he brings in roughly 800,000 baht a month. And because he brings in 800,000 baht a month, and he's married, and he has got life insurance, and he has got medical insurance, and he can claim for his mother-in-law as well, who's over 60. And because he's over 65, he gets another tax perk as well. So for 800,000 baht, he's paying roughly 25,000 baht in tax. So again, not a huge amount of money is what some people are thinking of. Now, again, for those people who see that online, that is how you fill your tax, to do it on an e-file. But what I'm suggesting is for people to go and have a look at this video, and it's called Thailand Tax Update, what's now clear and what still isn't. And that's from Jeff Gunther. And it lasts for about 30, 45 minutes, something like that. Very informative, very knowledgeable. But you'll see, again, throughout the whole video, we're a year into this tax system now, and it still hasn't been sorted out. And the 2 tax ladies at the 2 tax offices, and he says this in the video as well, and I can vouch for that because we had different information of the 2 tax offices. One said, I'll have to pay tax. Don't care if I've already paid tax, still have to pay tax. And the other tax lady says, don't have to pay tax.